Welcome to СивилНеթi. My guest is Mirza Dinnayi, a Yazidi activist and co-founder of Luftbrücke Irak, Air Bridge Iraq, a humanitarian organization that flies Yazidi victims from Iraq to Germany for medical treatment. He is also the 2019 Aurora Prize for Awakening Humanity Laureate. As a reminder, the Aurora Prize recognizes people for their acts of exceptional courage and commitment to saving human life. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Dinnayi. So you are in Armenia for the annual Aurora Humanitarian Initiative and also to commemorate the 106th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide that took place the 24th of April 1915. What does that represent for you as a member of the Yazidi community and as a humanitarian?
Thank you very much. Actually, the Armenian Genocide is a lesson for the whole world what has happened to peaceful and innocent civilians during the Ottoman Empire. And at that time we had also thousands of Yazidis who were living together with Armenians in that region, and they have been also massacred and killed during the Armenian Genocide. For example, my grandparents, they escaped also from Turkey at the beginning of the last century, also because of the genocide to Iraq. So it is very important to remember what has happened and to give that lecture and lesson to the next generation. So to remember that is important, and to prevent, in order to prevent other communities. Unfortunately, the international community was not successful to prohibit such kind of atrocities. After the Armenian Genocide, different genocide has happened until 2014, that the Yazidis were victims of genocide committed by ISIS. Therefore, I think it is important that we bring that message to whole the world. Aurora, from the other perspective, also was initiated and established not only to remember the Armenian Genocide, but also to express the gratitude to those saviors who are helping the vulnerable communities, and also as a kind of just like snowball effect in the humanitarian field. Definitely as a humanitarian who is working since about 20 years in the humanitarian field, this day touched also our soul. It's because you ask yourself each time you remember these atrocities, even from the books, what has happened, and you ask yourself why all those people have been killed.
So you just mentioned the Yazidi genocide. So during the genocide, you said what you said was correct. In 1915, Yazidis were also victim along with Armenians. The Yazidi suffering, if we make a distinction, is not recognized either, but it is even not as visible as the Armenian genocide. It seems to be a forgotten genocide. What is the impact of that on your community?
Yeah, it is very painful. Until now, 70% of my community are still living in tents as displaced, as refugees in tents in different places of the country and also outside of Iraq. And it's so painful that the whole area is not rebuilt yet. There are a lot of challenges against Iraqi government, a lot of challenges for my community that cannot return back to their areas. And each time when we remember and that the time is going on, and we remember that what has happened to our people, and seem to be that the others, the power makers and the policy makers in the world, they don't care a lot about what happened to the vulnerable communities. It is very painful. So I compare it just like what has happened to the Armenian 106 years ago. So 1.5 million were killed, and the world was not really awake about them. There is still some kind of denying and justifications of the killing and justifications of the genocide. So in Iraq we were a little bit better lucky than Armenian, that the terror organization ISIS is not only our enemy, is enemy of the peace for whole the world, and there are some countries behind that, but not the countries as a official statement they were behind ISIS. Some countries supported ISIS for political reasons, but under the table. So therefore it was for us easier that the international community did, and because of the fear that what ISIS can distribute, or which kind of damage can ISIS do, so they defeated ISIS on the bottom, yes. but only from let's say from the war perspective. From the post-war perspective, from rebuilding of the area, there is a big gap and there is a big deficiency until now. I hope that we can move forward, and that can we help the people to go forward and to heal their wounds.
So the purpose of your visit to Armenia is not only the commemoration of the genocide, but you've also initiated a trauma training project here in Armenia for teachers and social workers who are dealing with vulnerable people from Armenia and Artsakh. So you went also in Artsakh. First question, I wanted to say, what was your opinion on your feeling when you went in a post-war zone in some way, or in a country, a republic that just faced a war?
As I visited Stepanakert last December, so I remembered all what was happened to my community who have been victimized for of a war that they don't know why. And I saw what has happened, which kind of damage can a war which kind of damage can war make for the normal civilians, and therefore I wanted to make even a very small thank for the community, and I initiated an idea of training because I saw a lot of trauma, and training for the trainers program that we will offer for some teachers and social workers who are dealing with the vulnerable community, who are dealing with the traumatized children and traumatized students. And so therefore I wanted to visit Armenia. We will make about 1 week training for some teachers as just like a pilot project. I hope we can do more for in the future, in that perspective.
And a question related to that, what are your observations so far of the traumas that Armenians are going through post-war, because you are also helping Yazidis, I guess, who are also victims of war? Do you see similarities? If so, what are the common points, and how is it possible to overcome this psychological state?
Well, the most important thing in all countries where post-war is effect and the damage of post-war, some kind from one perspective is similar, because you find a distracted community, you find civilians who lost their family members. Last time I visited a place and I saw an old man who is on a grave of his son who was fallen in the war, and his son was 18 years old, and it was by chance the birthday of his son, and I saw the poor father who was crying on the grave of his son, and he was asking why he should die in this day, why I should celebrate his birthday on his grave, not within the family. So this is the question that each one, especially those people who don't know why this war is happening, why there is a conflict, and it is and why their destiny is to be living in a disputed area, and so I saw the same pain by those people, and it's just like similar that my people have. So, and definitely the international community owed those people to do more to bring their life to the normal life, and it is a problem that should be solved. And it is not only responsibility of the countries around Artsakh, not only Armenian problem. I think the issue of Artsakh is a problem of the whole world, and and each country is responsible to do something in order to bring peace and find a solution for that and establish a sustainable peace, not only conflict and that can be arised any day if a crazy guy to come to that government or other government. So there should be a real sustainable peace for this region, and the people of Artsakh have that right of self-determination, what they want exactly to have, and the international community and the policy makers in the world, they have to help them in order to reach that point.
And in terms of a psychological state, the mourning process is pretty long, and it's only been 5 months since the end of the war. How do you, as a founder of an organization in the humanitarian field, how do you see the steps that should be done here to overcome this psychological state?
I think there should be more engagement from the international NGOs to offer the civilians more help financially, also from the trauma therapy and also the post-war therapy and care. So there is a big deficiency in that perspective, and I saw last time too, and I asked my friends yesterday whether there is more engagement from international NGOs since the wartime, and there is no big signs of that. This is a big problem. I think people of Artsakh, also Armenia, because you have also a lot of refugees here, and the economical situation here is not that good that they can absorb all those refugees, and the Armenian people did excellent job for those people. Aurora is actually doing an excellent job to empower the community in Artsakh. There are a lot of humanitarian projects running right now in Artsakh, funded by Aurora Humanitarian Initiative, but they need more, I think.
So you also visited as we know, Armenia hosts one of the biggest community of Yazidis, and I guess you went and visited your community. What are your observations about the Yazidi community in Armenia, and what are their hopes and challenges? And they also participate in this war. They also went on the front line. They also lost their children during this war. So what is the current situation, the mood, the challenges, the hopes they have?
Well, Yazidi community from Armenia, they are a well-integrated community. So they are Armenian Yazidis, let's say. And they share the same challenges that the Armenian people have, the same perspective that they have from political, economical, and generally speaking. I think there is a very good coexistence between Yazidis and Armenian, if we speak about the multicultural coexistence in Armenia. It's not the first time that I visit the Yazidi community. I am in contact with the Armenian Yazidis since over 10 years, and I know that the situation is going forward in different kind and ways of life. We have a member of Yazidi of the Armenian parliament who is from very good, engaged Yazidi politician who is doing also a lot for his community and also generally for Armenian. And a couple of years ago, I participated in the establishment of the Yazidi temple, which is the first time in the history that so big Yazidi temple will be built outside of Iraq. such kind of temple it will be never possible to build such temple in Syria or Turkey, for example. Even in Iraq, if it is not some old holy place of the Yazidis, you can't build a temple with this name and with this facility. So I think there are very good steps forward, and I guess the Yazidi have, because they are coming from rural areas, they have maybe more challenges than the people who are living in Yerevan. It's not only Yazidi specific, I guess even the Armenian in rural area, they have the same problem with education, with the participation in the political life and social life. So maybe these challenges that each small community has.
Well, thank you very much for this talk.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching and continue to follow CivilNet.